right now, if I asked a question, what would you do about this question? And see, the reason I ask is because we're starting to see something that's obviously going to be our everyday lives, particularly for people who live along the coast. If right now you live in any disaster area, but especially hurricanes, these are starting to increase. If you had to evacuate, do you have your most important documents in a place where you can grab them? Do you have some kind of food you can grab? How much fuel is in your tank to get away? Do you have something that you can grab for your safety, like first aid kits or things that can be helpful for your pets if you have to be on the road in your vehicle? Do you have at least a jug with a gallon of water to start off so that you can take off? Do you have any sense of where to go pull into so that you can go rest if this happens? In other words, if you're living in areas that you know are active, do you have a plan? You see the article that's just popped up? It's blatantly obvious what you wouldn't do in a hurricane, because this is a true thing. And at all this time, I thought Gen Z was going to do better than us Gen X and millennials. Yet all they want to do is go hang out and get selfies during a storm. Make it make sense that your life's in danger and you only care to just get a selfie. (1992). I'm sitting in North Alabama. We get a torrential downpour of rain, bad downpour of rain. I lived in a trailer at the time with my father. That storm scared me but put me to sleep at the same time. Mind you, I'm up near the Tennessee border, like I could be to Tennessee from my house in an hour and a half to 2 hours. And like maybe 3 hours. But I'm definitely 3 hours drive from Atlanta, Georgia. So the last thing you would think is that a hurricane would be so powerful that it would reach that far north Alabama. While we didn't get the big flood of water coming in from the ocean, we did get Hurricane Andrew's wrath far as the huge rains are concerned, and branches moving and flying all over the place. I can remember looking at Andrew and thinking, that's a once in a lifetime storm. This doesn't happen that often. I won't see anything like this too often in my life anymore. Now that's me as a naive 12-year-old kid. I don't know why I said I was living in my dad's trailer. I wasn't living with him yet. I was visiting him when that storm happened. I remember that. I didn't go live with him till I was 15. I'll admit that. But in any case, I was 12 years old, naive, and thought that's a once in a lifetime storm. And it's sad, but hurricanes are just something that happen. Then I saw a few typhoons and a few cyclones, whatever you call it. There has to be preparedness, right? You don't think that as a 12-year-old kid. Then it's 2005. My ship just got to the state of Washington, my aircraft carrier, to come and replace another. I had been here less than a year at the age of 25 when Katrina hit. That storm was so bad, I can remember them sending the armed forces and sending people as volunteers in increments of like 2 weeks to a month, I think, down to Louisiana. I can remember thinking that I wanted to go down there and help, and they wanted to send people, and lots of people volunteered. Well, I knew a guy that was kind of I won't say he was a goofball that I was on the boat with. I remember his last name, but I don't want to say it in case, number one, he doesn't want to be discussed, and number two, I can't remember if this is truly his last name. He came back from that experience a changed and more grounded person as a 20 something. He went from being a carefree young sailor to just coming back with a different perspective on life. Now, mind you, my mate name's Williams. He's like, Williams, you got to be a strong person to go down there. You don't want to go to New Orleans. I'm like, well, I mean, I expect it to be bad. He was like, it's so bad at the time he went that he can recall that the disaster being so bad that on a given day you could see a body just floating. And I could tell by the way his voice, the tonation of his voice changed, that Katrina changed him and gave him a perspective on how precious life can be. Here's the thing. I don't mean to sound heartless, but this is a disturbing trend because since Katrina, we've had back-to-back strong storms. Louisiana, I mean, I won't say the whole state. New Orleans has not even really fully recovered from Katrina. It hasn't. These storms, I have a friend from Washington State that moved to the state of Georgia, and she was concerned and within her rights, because when I grew up, storms didn't get that far up Georgia back then, very rarely, and like this one almost did. The good Lord willing, it passed and went past her. Are y'all prepared? Do you have a contingency plan in place? What I'm about to say is going to be heartless, or it's going to at least come off as heartless, but it's the truth and it's practical. Okay? It's just something that has to be said. I get that the economy is bad, okay? I really do. I get that people feel like their backs are against the wall and that they don't have many choices and that money is tight. It's also sad that people pick on people. You know, a hurricane's coming. Why don't you run? I'm on the fence and on the side of that. But I also realize that some people live in such crippling poverty, all they can do is pray that the thing doesn't come their way, because they literally don't have anywhere else to go. The problem is that as prevalent as these storms are becoming, you're going to have to start stashing something away and be ready to run if you can, and not wait till it's too late. I don't say that to be cruel or to be heartless to any of you, especially given this storm, Hurricane Helene. However, you have got to get some plan in place. How much do you value your life? Do you value it enough to run if you have to? Because if you live in coastal areas, no matter how much money you have, this is inevitable. And now every year these storms get stronger and stronger, and it costs more money. And it cripples economies more. Just as you build half of them back up, here comes another one to destroy it again. I don't think these storms are going to slow down. So my message to you all is be safe, be careful, but get some type of plan. It may be inconvenient, it may not be easy, but it just might preserve your life.